I'm sure not everyone will be rushing to go and buy him this weekend, but he could be a massive player coming back.
My final point on this game is I'm just scrolling through the Crystal Palace list here, and the number of injuries they have is massive, more than Villa more than Villa had at the weekend, and that's just another alarm bells ringing for Crystal Palace fans as they visit.
They do have a lot of injuries, and I agree at that point. There's two players I was looking at when I watched Palace play against Arsenal. And one of the reasons for me why I think Palace are so good defensively, they have made a fantastic signing in Gary Cahill.
Yes.
He organises the back. He actually has shown what a great defender he is to me, the way he's gone into that Palace team. At Chelsea, I always thought John Terry was the man, but Cahill is actually a very, very good defender, and that's why they're so secure at the back. The other guy that's come in is Riedeveld. If anyone's been watching against Arsenal, Riedeveld played at the left-back position, and he was actually really good. Only issue with him is he's a midfielder on the game, so just for awareness there...
he's not going to get the clean sheet.
Not worth getting it, no. I think it's going to be a good game. Is it going to be a cricket score? I'd say no. Maybe 2-0, 3-0. What do you think, Sean?
This is deja vu to last week, you said that.
I did. Got that wrong. But I think Palace are a different team to Villa.
5-1.
Yeah.
5-1. We're seeing 5-1.
5-1 City. 5-1 City. What do you think, Jimmy?
I think it's going to be 2-0 to City. I do think they've got players that are high in confidence and in very good form. So I do think they'll win it 2-0. I think Mahrez definitely, I would keep him in if I was Pep, because he is playing very well. And Aguero, how can you drop the guy who just scored a hat-trick? I think both of them have got to play. And De Bruyne is just world-class, and he took him off at 65 minutes. So he'll play as well. So I'm calling all of those three playing. Okay, so that's Man City, Crystal Palace. Definitely worth getting City players in. I want to just quickly jump over to, I think, Ricky Pellegrini, West Ham, Everton. You were bemoaning your team losing to Sheffield United. Do you see them bouncing back here?
I do. I think West Ham were unlucky. I think for those of you who saw the game, Declan Rice, a great burst forward to set up Snodgrass for that late minute equaliser, and I think we're all gutted about that. We're all talking about VAR, so on and so forth. But in terms of West Ham's performance, I think we are on a resurgence. I think we are looking a lot more solid at the back, and just in general through the whole team, we look like we have got the fight in us to keep going. I think it's going to be a close game. I think our danger point will be Richarlison, because he's looking good. He's the last 3 game weeks he's been racking up those FPL points. I think a lot of people will be drafting into their team. I think it'll be a close game. I think it's going to be one of those games. The first goal is going to be the most important, and if Everton score an early goal, they get on. The West Ham fans, they get on their back, and then we go from there. So, but personally, I think a West Ham win. I think a 2-1 to West Ham.
It's battle of the two new managers, isn't it? Really,
yep.
West Ham, Everton. Where do you see the points coming from in this?
I think the biggest negative on the West Ham side is Fabianski is out. He's only out for 2 or 3 weeks, they're saying at the moment. He just had a scan today showing that, so it's not going to be a lengthy layout that he had last time. I know a lot of people did just get Fabianski in, actually, because he is typically a good scoring goalkeeper because he makes a lot of saves. But I do see, in terms of other than Richarlison, I think on the West Ham side, I think Haller will get another goal. He was unlucky not to get on the score sheet against Sheffield United. I would also back Snodgrass. I mean, you called it a couple of weeks ago. He just keeps getting involved in those attacking plays, and he's got the energy of a 21-year-old, even though he's in his 30s now.
I mean, he was actually rested against Sheffield United, and he came on, and then he had a great free kick, and he did score that goal. I think he should be playing personally. I think David Moyes might play him after that.
I think he will.
So there we go with that one. Captain Russ, you're saying that you think there's a bit of value in Spurs maybe against Watford, or do you think that Watford might continue the good run of form?
I think I'd hope so. I'm hoping that we're going to get a result in this. Obviously, we're not performing well at the moment. Second half was better than the first half, as you probably already mentioned before, but it's just...
you guys could have won that game in the second half.
Yeah, for sure, but we didn't.
True, we did not.
we lost 1-0. So,
Captain, just quick question about Son, because a lot of people will be looking at him closely in terms of FPL, right? He's just come back from his 3-game ban. He looked pretty good, right?
Yeah, he did.
Would you be getting him in your team?
Personally, I wouldn't, because unfortunately, I've not got much faith in the Spurs team at the moment.
But someone needs to step up for Spurs. Spurs, right? And someone in that team needs to grind out some points.
Yeah.
And it's looking like it's not going to be Ali. It's definitely not going to be Kane.
Like
He's
Son
not playing.
could be the man.
So yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, if there was any player that I'd bring him to my team, it would be Son, without a shadow of a doubt. I'd probably have him over Kane as well. He's more. I
hope you don't have Kane because he's not going to play till April.
But what do you think though this week, Captain, about the fact you're playing Watford? Watford are on a resurgence. They've been playing extremely well. Nigel Pearson's got them ticking along. They're unbeaten in 5 games. They've
out of the relegation zone.
4 wins, 1 draw. You guys have lost 3 of the last 5. This isn't going to be an easy game for you.
No, not in the slightest. I mean,
do you think Watford could win this?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've been consistent, haven't they? And they're a renewed team. They're like completely different from what they were like in the beginning of the season. And yeah, I mean, they're a new Watford that we've not seen before, and they look hungry. And
so who's going to win then? You're skirting around my question. Who's going to win?
I think Spurs will still win. I think it'll be 2-1. I think it'll be a close game, but I think we'll win 2-1. I could see Son scoring both of the goals as well.
I think Jose Mourinho is struggling a lot. And he's come in, he had a blinding start. He's now finding it difficult. He's on the back of 2 defeats. Lost to Southampton, lost to Liverpool. Okay, Liverpool was obviously, that's one you could probably expect to lose. I think Watford, you're going to lose 3 in a row here. I'm going to go for Watford to beat Spurs. And I'm going to say Deulofeu for me. I went for him. He was my kind of diamond in the rough, my secret weapon. Did nothing last week. But I still think he's a quality player. He's still worth having. Decore again. And you're saying Troy Deeney and Sarr, they look alright. They're attacking as a good force.
Troy Deeney is very impressive. He's still only got 39 points this season though. And it's 6.2 million. He's not expensive, but it's actually more, do you have enough space in your forward line for him?
Yeah.
If you've only got 3 forwards, you're really him instead of Ings, and the points have showed where you should go.
But Watford are attacking as a unit. They've got that 4 players. They're doing well. They're defending well. Tottenham, on the other hand, are looking a little bit. I guess you've only let in 2 goals in 2 games. 2 goals in 2 games. Danny Ings, good goal, and Firmino, good finish as well. Really, so it's going to be a tight one. On that, I'm still going to say Spurs will lose. I'm going to say it's going to be 2-1 to Watford. Captain, what do you think the score will be?
Yeah, it'll be 2-1. I was going to say it was
also Watford, or
2-1 to Spurs, but I was going to say that Foster's a pretty good keeper if you haven't got a decent keeper in. I think he's someone to look out for if you've not got him already.
And we're only seeing the goals from Son on Tottenham. Anything for Ali?
He's too inconsistent. I think he's just one of those players that he can play a blinding genius player when he can be bothered. I don't think he's quite young. I think he's got a bit of an attitude. If he's in the mood, he could. But at the moment, I can't see it coming from him. I can see him having an assist, but that's probably about it. Okay,
excellent. Thanks, Captain. So on that note, he's saying Son is the guy for Tottenham if they're going to win 2-1. I don't see it. One thing I will say is don't get Lo Celso. The guy cannot shoot.
He's like Pepe.
He's almost as worse as Pepe. As bad as. Over to you, Patrick Vieira. You've been looking at a tasty fixture for us. Southampton v Wolves.
Yeah, this one I don't think it'll be a hugely high-scoring game. I'm going to go for 2-1 for Southampton. Southampton have just been on a great run of form. They've won the last 4 out of their 5 games. And what I like about them is that they haven't got a new manager in. They've had, they've got the same Ralph.
Yeah. But Ralph.
Ralph.
But so I think they've just started to figure it out. And with Danny Wings really being doing well with the scoring, and Wolves struggling a little bit in the last few games. I'm going to go with Southampton for 2-1.
2-1 Southampton.
Yeah.
Not a bad chat. And Danny Wings both goals.
Danny Wings.
Of course.
Yeah.
We love Danny Wings. He just keeps on doing it. I might have to get him.
What a monster of a
Have you not got him yet? He's still like biding the time
contemplating, mate. Still contemplating.
I've got his run.
Everyone's got him except me.
Pellegrini, are you sticking with Jimenez or Traore?
I might give them one more week.
I think they'll do something in this game.
Yeah, it's Burnley, right? No, who are they playing?
Southampton.
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
They've got a lot of points between them. 108 for Jimenez and 85 for Traore. So.
Yeah, when you look at a player across the season and you're saying, because I've done it so many times where I pulled a player out like Willian last week. Too impatient, take him out, and then he goes and has a blinder, and 7 points, and I've put Perez and you've got 2. So
it's so difficult. Isn't it? Sometimes you try and be brave, you try and make a decision. It's backfires.
You go on paper.
Be careful.
Let's say you do on paper. My team looked brilliant at the start of the weekend, but then it just all crumbled and fell apart. Starting with Aubameyang, but that aside, I think Wolves. I'm going to give them one more week, and then maybe I'll move them on.
This is going to be an open game regardless. I do see it being 2 teams attacking. They're not too worried about relegation at the moment. It's going to be a good game. A couple of goals, maybe 4 or 5 goals. I could see a good game. 3-2.
Southampton at home as well, because they're just doing so well.
Okay, guys. Before I round out the week's action and talk about Liverpool Man United, the most tasty fixture on the schedule, I just want one sentence on each of the games we haven't covered so far. Sean, Arsenal, Sheffield United.
Arsenal lacking firepower. Sheffield United wall at the back with power to go forward. Although it's at the Emirates, I see more Sheffield United. I see more some of their defenders. I would stay away from any of Arsenal players.
Okay, Brighton, Aston Villa. Ricky, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of feel sorry a little bit for Aston Villa at the moment because they've got so many injuries. I think Grealish is going to carry that team as far as he can, but I see Brighton with a comfortable home win here. Morpay and maybe Trossard on the score sheet.
Clean sheet or not?
I think clean sheet for Brighton, yeah.
Okay. Patrick Vieira, Norwich versus Bournemouth.
Oh, 2 terrible teams right now, but I think Norwich will get the win here again. Bournemouth really, really struggling.
They are.
And the guy with the perm that we all love so much.
What a perm.
Cantwell.
I can see a good week for the Cantwell.
I can see that too.
Mr. Todd Cantwell.
Battle of the 19th and 20th. Going to be an open game. Goals there, but Norwich definitely for me as well. Okay, that said, Captain Russ, what do you think, mate? Burnley versus Leicester.
Well, I'm hoping that Rebecca's going to give him the old go, and I'm hoping that Buddy's going to actually get a couple of goals in, maybe. So I'm hoping like 2-0 to.
You're seeing 2-0 Leicester and both from Vardy?
Yes, and assist from Maddison.
Excellent. We did say that earlier that I think Burnley struggle against the best. They're on a really bad run. Lost the last 4 games. Leicester for me as well. You may be thinking, Jimmy Ferguson, you've missed Newcastle-Chelsea one-liner. I haven't. I'm gonna cover that one myself. Newcastle for me, not really bringing it. I'm not really that impressed with Newcastle. I don't see a lot. Chelsea are on a good run. I say a good run. They won their last game.
Good run for them.
That's farther than I've run all week.
They've only lost 1 in 5 though. They have turned it around a little bit. So I do see Chelsea taking the points at St James's Park. I think it'll be a tight game though. Maybe 1-0 Chelsea. And
still Mount?
Definitely not Mount.
Everyone's on Mount, right?
Everyone's off him.
I mean, that Chelsea goal for me, that's going to come from
put some makeup on or something.
It's going to come from an unlikely source. It's coming from Hudson and Doy. You heard it here first.
Hudson and Doy.
He scored his first goal for the club in the league last week. He's going to get a second against Newcastle. They're going to win 1-0. With that said, it's the big one.
The big one.
The Sunday.
The Scousers with the Manx.
It's when Liverpool's unbeaten record comes to an end. United, come on lads, come on. Come on boys.
Fighting tall.
Shake down those NVD players. Neil Van Dijk, he's not here today, but Neil Van Dijk would be defending Liverpool. He has told me that they're certainly going to beat Manchester United. He thinks Liverpool are at home. He says that the goals have not dried up. Although they only got 1 against Spurs, they did hit the post. They did have more shots on target, and they've scored 2 goals in each of the preceding 4 games. So Neil Van Dijk's telling me that Liverpool are going to do Man United. He's calling out a 3-1. He sees Mane with a couple, and he thinks Mane will be the star.
I don't disagree with him. 3-1 Mane, I would go.
He does. He says Rashford's going to score the goal for United. I personally, contrary, think he's completely wrong. The game is at Anfield. Someone has to stop Liverpool. Someone has to stop them. They have won 20 of 21 games this season. They've drawn only 1 game. They've lost none.
Wow.
The game they drew was against Manchester United. We were the better team. We're coming back for them. We're going to stop them. We're going to show them what it's all about. You watch. Greenwood is going to take them down. Go on, Greenwood. Go on, Rashford. Go on, Harry Maguire. I'm supporting United. I'm a loyal fan. My heart doesn't definitely think we'll win, but my head is going 2-1 United.
Fair enough.
Both from Rashford.
Picture that will be.
Jimmy Ferguson, why is Greenwood not playing the full 90 minutes, do you reckon?
He's working him in. He's going to start playing eventually. I think he's a young man. He's not. He's not Gary. I think Ollie isn't trying. He don't want to put too much pressure on him too early, and I think he will start to play more and more as the season progresses. So definitely one to think about getting. He's going to play more game time, more minutes, and Patrick Vieira in the first half had a good point about playing him if you've got him in your team, because if he don't play, he'll come off, but he might score. So worth having him in. Okay, that said, guys, we've got to that point.
Captain
it is
Contender.
the Captain Contenders. Who is your Captain Contender for this week, gents? It's one per person. Captain Russ, who are you seeing as the captain choice this week for you?
Harry Kane.
I am going to be really bored.